David, it's not long after the final whistle. What's your thoughts after tonight's dramatic game here in Albania?
Probably like everybody else who supports and cares for Linfield, drained. It was a hard night. I think I said last night in my interview before the game, and I'm certainly in the lead into the game, that I knew that wouldn't be the same sort of team that we played last week at Windsor would arrive here tonight. They would be better, they'd be G'd up, they'd be a little bit more physical, which they were. Probably delighted to go through, but I don't think there was any real time in the game that we ever really had control of the game. Even at 0-0, we always looked as if we were going to give up a cross or an opportunity. But again, our fitness levels at the end, there was one or two going down with cramp because they'd put so much into it. And again, the pre-season that we've had, going to Spain, the preparation, the hard work, the hard yards that we've done, were done for the last 10-15 minutes of a game like tonight, because it was backs to the wall. We weren't certainly at our best with the ball tonight, but I've got to praise the players, their efforts, their attitude. Chris John's made one or two really good saves in the first half, which were key moments at the time. So delighted to go through. The players are done in there, they're knackered. They put a lot into the game mentally and physically. So the challenge is now, obviously we travel back tomorrow, is to get ourselves ready. We'll train on Saturday, and now we've an opportunity to, as we all wanted to do, progress in Europe and play the Polish team next week.
A lot of heroes out there tonight. You mentioned Chris Jones, 2 top saves in the first half. The experience, Chris Shields, I think it was his 50th game in Europe for his 2 teams. Jimmy Mulgrew comes on and steadies the ship. But then what an experience for the young guys who are learning off these experienced players in big nights like this.
I said that in the dressing room after. There'll be one or two disappointed, not only not to start, but obviously to come on. But there was one or two sort of little minor tweaks that we had to make for our shape, and sort of one or two sort of cramping up that we had to make sure that for going forward that somebody like Cooper isn't injured, so we had to sort of sacrifice him a little bit, even though he was still key to the way that we wanted to play the game sort of on the counter attack later on in the game. But these young boys will learn. They're in the dressing room. I can't play them all at once. They'll be dipped in at different stages. But one thing that they need to be prepared for is to go on. Young Ryan was coming on at one stage tonight, probably for a European debut. When I seen Ben cramping up, but players like Ryan, Reese, Liam McStravick, Andy Clark, Max Haygarth, Josh Archers, some of these other boys, they need to be ready when called upon. Say, being in and around experienced people, the 2-3 that you mentioned. I have a running joke with Matty Clark at times that Matthew thinks I pick on him at times, but again I can pick on Matthew because I know I'll get a reaction out of him, and I know how consistent and good he is. He's been at the club since day dot, since I've been here, so I can't dislike him that much. I love Matthew, but I'd say proud to go through, proud to be given the opportunity to go through again, to test ourselves against another good team and next week, and we look forward to it.
The heat was a major factor out tonight, wasn't it? And obviously they're more used to it. And they were always going to throw the kitchen sink at us tonight, but it was real backs to the wall guts to sort of keep them out.
Yeah, the heat was, again, as expected. It was no surprise to us. We trained at the same time last night, so it wasn't a surprise to us. And again, as I said before, we tried to prepare for a game like this, a night like this, the last 20 minutes of a game like this tonight, when we prepared in Spain, and the hard work that we done in Belfast before we left. So pleased with the attitude, pleased with the effort, delighted to go through, absolutely delighted. I love winning games, winning ties, putting us through. As I say, we can get our heads together now. Myself, the rest of the staff will have a quieter night tonight. We're out early in the morning and start getting prepared for a home tie next Thursday.
And a word for the Vllaznia club, because they've really looked after us well here. Over the 2 legs, they were really very sporting. Really did go out of their way to look after us.
Yeah, again on their manager, and again I spoke to the manager last week after the game. I know he's a bit of an Albanian legend, scored a lot of goals in the clubs that he played for here. He was, even obviously in defeat sort of tonight, he was very courteous. And for those who, and again, I done a piece in the paper the other day, and I wasn't calling a club like Vllaznia out and whatever else, but we've been to European trips before. I was all Andy, including their board and the players and whatever else, and sometimes you get mistreated, considering the amount of hospitality and courteousness that you give the opposition when they come. But again, this club here and Albania, the people from the hotel, the staff here, even come to training last night, they couldn't be more helpful. As I say, I wish them well. It's a place that I've never been before up here, this far up. As I say, I wish them well. They'll be disappointed to go out, obviously. I'm delighted to go through, and I say I wish them well going forward.
And for the 30 fans or so who made it a long trip and a lot of money to come out here, it's nice that they can go home on a high after tonight's result in the context of the two legs.
Yeah, again, I think like ourselves, like everybody, it was hard watch at times tonight, because we were never sort of in complete control of the outcome of the tie. But our performance last week, and again something that I need to learn from last week, when probably the game was 3-0, we probably should have shut up shop. And my probably, I'd say naivety, probably my eagerness, probably to go and try and kill the tie, basically 3-0, 4-0 or whatever else. We got caught with a late sucker punch last week, and again it leaves it open for the home team, like they did tonight, to come at you. So I'm learning, we're always learning, we're all learning as players and staff, and I'll take a lot out of sort of both ties from last week and this week, and try and be better going forward.
Huge games against the Polish teams to look forward to, and it'll be great to welcome Daniel Finlayson back to contention for the squad for those games. Yeah,
of course, and again Daniel was always going to be a miss. Michael Newbury came in and done well in the circumstances, as expected, as we knew he would do. But again, Daniel's been excellent for us since coming through the door, and we welcome him back next week into the squad that's going to play at home.
Well, unwind for the rest of the night and safe home, and we go again over the next 2 weeks against the Polish side.
Absolutely, look forward to it, Andy.
Well done, David.
Thanks, Andy.